My research in recent years is focused on immigration and immigration reform, in particular how race and civil rights play out in the debate over immigration reform. In the last few months, really, there's been a resurgence in interest in immigration reform with the President Obama, and a bipartisan group of senators proposing comprehensive immigration reform proposals. It's pretty clear now that most of the public and many policymakers think that it's time for immigration reform to come about. And the question is what form it's going to take. And there are a number of very important issues that have to be addressed by Congress and by the President and by the people of the United States in figuring out what kind of immigration reform they want. One of those issues is how much enforcement is necessary for the immigration laws, how much more or less, some would say, enforcement is needed to ensure that the immigration laws are complied with. There's also a very important discussion about legal immigration, whether it should be changed. Should we resolve to increase the number of PhD students, for example, who are accepted and admitted as immigrants to America? Do we need more low-wage and middle-skilled workers to work in agriculture, for example? So there's a real hot debate about legal immigration reform. And perhaps the third and the most salient issue on the horizon is the path to legalization. It's a very controversial issue. That is, how do we treat undocumented immigrants who are in this country, they're living in this country, they're working in this country, they have families in this country. How do we treat them? Do we give them some kind of path to legal status? Do we make every effort possible to deport them? Do we continue the status quo, let them be live in the shadows of American social life? Now, the issue before Congress really is whether there should be a path to legalization and what that path, if it exists, entails. So probably the hottest part of the debate over immigration reform is whether and how long the path to legalization will be, what kind of criminal background checks it will require, what kind of, there'll certainly be a requirement of paying some fines and paying any back taxes. But I think it's important to remember that currently there is a system in place for undocumented immigrants. It's not a path to legalization, but it's really a path to marginalization. Marginalization in American social life and how they're treated, how they're exploited, and how they have to live in this country.